Hi there. Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. The show is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here today to do an episode of the series that we've been running for the month of March, which is entitled My 31 Favorite Rock Bands Who Released 2 Albums in the Same Year. So this one's a little bit of an unusual episode. It's the only one of its kind, really. We have 2 albums released in the same year, but one of the albums had a big discrepancy with it, so we're going to kind of treat it as being released twice. So the first time it was released, early 1977, Hearts magazine, unauthorized version, put out by Mushroom Records against the band's wishes. The band then put out, later in the year, Hearts Little Queen, which is a masterpiece album in my collection. Absolutely killer album of all sorts. The other version is, this one was put out again, released as an authorized version by the band in 1978, in April of 1978, which would then mean that it was coming out in the same year as Dog and Butterfly, released later in the year from 1978. So we're going to kind of talk about all 3 albums because of that. I want to be fair about it. So Magazine is not one of their strongest albums. It's okay. It's got some decent stuff on it. And it has that Heart sound, just that the tracks are maybe up to as much snuff. There's a little bit of filler here, taking stuff that was left over from before on their Dreamboat Annie album and putting them here along with some other stuff. They added some stuff later to try and strengthen the album. Heartless is, of course, the big track on this album. Their first track, really good. And it's got lots of other things. Mother Earth Blues, pretty good song too. Without You, I like that one quite a bit. Some pretty strong stuff here on this album. And it was, of course, their first release that year. The second album that was released that year in 1977 is Little Queen, which I think is probably their second best album of all time, or arguably their best, depending on what you like. It has the massive hit Barracuda, one of the most iconic and most well-remembered Heart songs. It's got that ripping guitar in it, fantastic vocals too. There's some other stuff that I like quite a bit. The Sylvain song, Dream of the Archer. These are very underrated, but killer tunes, both of them. Kick It Out, of course, another hit that got a lot of radio play. You've got Little Queen, which is an interesting and good typical Heart song. Cry to Me and Go On and Cry, both very good tracks. This album has a lot of that kind of Jethro Tull sound to it at times too. Very folkish at times, very kind of bluesy, lots of bluesy sound and lots of hard rock and stuff here. So I don't think it's as hard an album as Dreamboat Annie, but it's a solid album and mixed masterpiece list with me. The third album on this, which came out in 78, if you were going to go with this combo, the re-release of this as an official release in 78 in April, and the Dog and Butterfly album, wouldn't rank as high. If we were to go by this, it would have ranked much lower in my rankings than the other 2 because of the strength of Little Queen, but still would have been on here for sure. This one also has some really good stuff on it. Straight On and Dog and Butterfly, two of maybe my favorite Heart songs. Very strong. Straight On, heavy song. Dog and Butterfly, got that kind of folky, bluesy sound to it. And then Minstrel Wind, which is another really fantastic tune. Got some deeper cuts here. Hijinks and High Time, both are fairly good songs as well. And then this particular version has 3 previously unreleased bonus tracks. Heartless, the re-recorded live version, Feels, and A Little Bit, which are all on this as well. But for the purpose of the series, we're going to stick with these 2 as being the main ones, and that's why I ranked it higher than I did. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this unusual episode of my 31 favorite rock bands that released 2 albums in the same year. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about the first combo or the second combo, or if you want to make any comments about the album magazine and the complexity of its release, you can do that as well. If you want to just talk about Heart, you can do that. Anything you want to put down there. Or if you want to be like Strucker and just put down your favorite 2 albums from the same year down there, you can do that as well. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. We will see you tomorrow for another episode of my 31 favorite rock bands who released 2 albums in the same year. Goodbye.